All right, so we've got our website, we've got the image in there, we've got the colors looking great. It's very readable. If I go into live view up at the top, you can see that I've got some great information. But now it's time to start adding in that spacing. I challenged you to add in that spacing. So we really need to think about what are we doing with these different areas of the page. So I said, like, for the article and the navigation, like a 1% spacing between the edge of the box and the content inside of it would be great. And then for your footer, maybe like a 2 pixel spacing. So I want to go over it one more time, which I know we've talked about it a lot, but you can see that it starts coming into play, especially when you're making the layout of a website, and that is the CSS box model. The CSS box model is where you have the content of the box or of the element, which in this case would be the text, right? This is the content of the element, what's inside of it. And then you have padding. Padding is going to create space between the content and the edge of the box. The border and margin are optional. The padding's optional. It's all optional. But when we're talking about where the edge of the box is, the edge of the box is right here where the padding and the border meet. So what we need to do is add some padding to each of our elements. Now, remember, and you can see it here in this image, when you add padding, border, or margin, it increases the height and it increases the width because it's adding space. So you can't keep the same spacing that you had before, which is where the challenge comes into play. So when we do this, we are going to go ahead and go to our CSS. And I'm going to actually go ahead and double click my properties to kind of collapse it there so I can see more. And I'm going to go to my article first. My article has a width of 80% and a height of 100%. If I click in here, you can click at the end, at the beginning, it doesn't matter, in the middle, it doesn't matter where you put it. And I put in padding of 1%. I'm going to see that it increases the width and the height of my article, and it now has pushed my navigation out of the way. And look, you can see right here, it does not have enough space. The same thing for nav, it's going to get wider. You can watch it right here when I do padding of 1% here. It's going to, try 1%. It's going to get wider and it gets taller because the padding goes on all 4 sides. So when we look at this, I need to take the height and width down of my article. I need to reduce its size. So this is where you need to start thinking about what's actually occurring. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and draw you a box real quick. So let's say this is an article here, right? Okay, so we've got articles sitting in here. What we've done is we've added space to different areas. We've added space. I'm going to go ahead and change my color here. We've added space here and here, as well as on the left and the right. Okay. So if, let's say, for instance, which we had a 100% height. Okay. Well, you've now added in, because that's your content, right? You've now added in a 1% height here. And make that red so you can see that that's at the padding. And then we've done the exact same thing up here. We've added another 1% of height. So now, how tall is your article? Well, your article is now 102% tall because it's 1% here and 1% here and 100% in the middle. Same thing is existing over here on the left. So you've not added 101% height here, you've added 1% width, okay? And then you've done the same thing over here. And overall, if your width was in fact 80%, okay, so an 80% width, you've now got a width that is in fact 80 plus 1 plus 1, which is 82%. So you've increased that width overall. So what we need to do is we need to go down into our coding here and we need to decrease our width by 2% and our height by 2% because we've added a 1% on either side. So I'm going to reduce this down to 98% for the height and 78% for the width. Now I need to go do the same thing for the nav because we did the exact same thing on the nav, being 98% of the height and 18% of the width. And now they will be able to fit because 78 plus 2 for either side, so that's 80, plus 18 is 98, plus 2 for either side would be 100%. So it takes up 100% of the width. Before it was taking up too much, which was why they were stacking instead of sitting side by side. So that's how you can create a little bit of space, and that looks 10 times better to me instead of it sitting right up on the edge. And then the same thing can be done for the footer here. So I'm going to go ahead and add a padding to the footer, but this time it's going to be in pixels. And actually I can do like 2 pixels here. But what I've just done is I've increased the height by 4 pixels, 2 on top, 2 on bottom. So I need to reduce this down to 28 or 26 pixels. And I've increased the width. You can see it's sitting out here, okay, by 4 pixels, left and right. So I'm going to reduce this down to 996 pixels. And now it will line right up with that, okay?